Welcome to The Cosmic Entrepreneur, the podcast where mystical wisdom meets the world of entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Christine, and I'm honoured to be your guide on this cosmic journey of self-discovery and business success. Each month, we'll explore the fascinating realms of spirituality, energy healing, astrology, Akashic records, many other esoteric practices, and multidimensional aspects of entrepreneurship. Through open conversations, shared experiences, and practical insights, my intention is to empower you to integrate these profound teachings into your personal and professional life, helping you manifest abundance, align to your highest timeline, and make a difference in the world. Whether you are an inspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or simply curious about the intersection of spirituality and success, this podcast is here to enlighten, empower, and elevate you. Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Entrepreneur Podcast. Today we have Beverly from County Dublin. Beverly is a Reiki Master, Access Bars and Rahanni practitioner, reflexologist and a Feng Shui expert. I'm so happy and delighted you're here with us today. I cannot wait to quiz you on everything that you know. You are just a wealth of knowledge. You have done so many courses. I haven't even mentioned like astrology or your manifestation courses and everything in between. So thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Lovely for the chats.
and
always good for the chats.
Love the chats. Yes, I was like, oh, we might be here a while, but I'm so excited. How did your journey start, Beverly? Like, how did you get into all of this?
How did I get it? Well, it kind of just happened. And I suppose going back from a young age, say teenage years, I was always into metaphysical stuff, and especially astrology. And I would have started off like most people with, you know, the zodiac and the star signs and how the different characteristics work. And I would have been always, you know, with friends inquiring about what star sign are you? Do you know what I mean? But of course, as I read more and, you know, through teenage years and that and in secondary school and read more up on it, I discovered there was a lot more to astrology, you know, and really interested in that. So I was always interested in, as I said, the metaphysical stuff like that. And then later on in life, I was working as an interior designer, and a lady that I worked with was very much into Feng Shui, and we're going back just maybe over 20 years. So it wasn't something that was as out there, say even here, as it is now. So she was telling me a bit about Feng Shui, and I was really interested because, you know, when you're designing a room or anything, you know, as well as having it aesthetically nice, you know, it seemed to me great to have the feeling of good energy in a house and a room as well. So I went out, I remember I bought, you know, as many books as I could because we didn't have the internet back then or anything like that to look up or Google. So I went out and I bought as many books as I could, and I was reading up on Feng Shui. And I was saying, geez, this makes sense, you know. And I found a lovely Feng Shui Master to do a course with Linda Close, and she's part of the accredited International Feng Shui Guild. I've done the course with her, which is traditional Feng Shui, and then later done there's a traditional Feng Shui school, and then just the more modern school of Feng Shui and stuff like that. So I just done bits of add-on courses, but done the traditional Feng Shui course with her and the Compass school as well. So, I just got really interested in that. And so that was my first kind of thing to work with around energy and manifestation, bringing good energy in and stuff. And then I'd been in a really toxic relationship. My ex-partner, he would have, you know, he's in an addiction. So I was 7 years, as I said, in a bad relationship, and come out of that and was on my own with a single parent with 2 young children. So it was like at that stage I was doing a 9-to-5 job. So it was like, you know, it wasn't, even though I was into astrology and all that, doing courses and putting myself out there for things like that was kind of pushed to one side because I was trying to keep all the balls in the air and juggle as a single parent and all the rest of it. And then later on, I met a lovely man, Michael, and I was with Michael for 5 years, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And sadly, he passed away in 2016. So during his journey, I kind of, I suppose his passing away was the catalyst where you kind of start questioning the afterlife and your own life and where things go and stuff like that. And I remember doing a crystal healing course, and that brought me back into the path of healing and all of that, and opened up things. And Reiki was the first healing modality then that I trained in, with Hazel that was on. I think she was on last month, wasn't she? Found Hazel like that. I hadn't, thought of Reiki or anything like that. And I just happened to, somebody mentioned Reiki to me, and I started looking into Reiki and seeing the benefits of it. And I think I found Hazel on one of the social, I think it was Facebook maybe or something like that. I found her on, and she really resonated with me. And I said, God, I'd love to train and work with that. And went on to train up to master level with Hazel. And then once I'd done that, things start opening up. Like I'd done magnified healing, training in breath work, done manifestation courses, all things like that. And then just coming into lockdown, I happened to be working, was working for Electric Ireland. So we were all shifted home to work from home as essential services at the time. And I'd already, done my Reiki training. So I was doing kind of family and friends, and then a few clients, because word of mouth was getting out there that I was doing Reiki, and a few people were coming to me for Reiki, or I was traveling to them. I was like, the more I was doing it and getting into energy healing, I was like, I don't want to be working, doing, your office work anymore. It's just not for me, and this is not what I want to be doing. And my friends and family were saying, oh, you're giving up the stable, secure, paid job. And I was like, yeah, but like, I'm going to just jump and take a chance with this and go out and give up work and fully go into what I'm doing. And, that's what I wanted to do. And I did. I just made that leap, because my children were obviously a lot older at that stage. And so I was like, this is my time now to do what I really want, and let's see what happens. And haven't looked back since. Certainly don't regret giving up the 9-to-5 job to do what I'm doing, because I love what I'm doing. And even since then, I've trained in more stuff, and more things have come along, and new people have come into my life that would be more of my mindset. I've made lovely friends through different courses and things that I've done, and other different energy healers out there, and that you come in contact with and you make friends with. So yeah, it's a whole new different way of life for me now than I had back 20 odd years ago or so. I would have never, my mindset, or I suppose anyone's mindset, is if you heard of somebody that was a healer, it was a very, very special gift, and they were almost magic or saying. Not everyone can do that. Whereas now, everybody has the ability to do Reiki or Rahanni or train in Feng Shui. And it's just tapping in and training and tapping into your psyche and being able to connect to have the ability to. Everyone has the ability to do it. You don't have to be. I'm not magic. Nobody that does Reiki or Rahanni or any of those healing tech modalities are special in any way. They've just, the more you do it, you are exercising your energy field, and you're building it up. So that's basically it. So and here I am today.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. And I love, I can see there's so many similarities between me and you. I love astrology. I've been in a toxic relationship for 7 years as well. There weren't kids. There's obviously harder when there's kids involved.
Yeah.
And you becoming training Reiki, it's just all of these little bits that lead us to everything that we actually want to do, that brings us joy, because we want to be of service, but we also want to better our lives and evolve too. So
I think the last part of when you're on a healing journey or a spiritual journey, and it's funny because a lot of people get into the spiritual community, healing modalities or whatever they're offering, kind of midlife or
Yeah.
after that they've been through a lot of shit in their life. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And as the saying is, the harder the patch, the higher the calling, because I really do believe that you have to go through a lot of shit in your life, whether it's the death of somebody close to you,
Yeah.
being in bad relationships, having an addiction yourself, coming out of all that to really understand then when you go on to, working with somebody that needs healing themselves, that you have that empathy for them,
Yeah.
and you can put
Yeah.
yourself in their place of what they're going through,
Mhm.
without taking it on, of course, because, you
Yeah.
can't do that either, but you can
Yeah.
understand, and people can connect with you better. People can, a lot of people come to me for, they're going through their grief, they've lost somebody close to them, or they've come out of bad relationships, or they're around somebody with addictions, or they're recovering in addictions themselves. And I've firsthand experience of all that, so I can actually connect with them and know where they are at that stage. And you really, there are things that you can't read out of a book. You have to really go through to
Yeah.
understand them. So, and I find that with most, say, Reiki healers, or people given any healing therapies, that they've been through something in their life to bring them to wanting to heal first, and then wanting to go out and help other people because they've been in that situation. And the last part of your healing journey is really to want to heal others, because it's actually
Yeah.
helping you as well. It's very helping. It's very healing to you to know that you have been able to help somebody,
Yeah.
because you feel you get a self-worth about yourself that might have been knocked out of you through being in a toxic relationship or things like that. So it's healing as well to those that are healing others,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
the deeper you can go, like with clients, is like as deep as you went with yourself. So it's like
Mm.
whatever you went
Yeah.
through, you can like, understand what the client is going through. And it's
Mm.
funny as well, you can see it in like trainings like that now. For example, like even going to like a Reiki training, you'll meet like people with similar stories, because they're all going to book in. They're like, okay, this is his time. They're like, okay, my story is very similar. And you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we're like on a similar journey. Yeah. Yeah. You did mention crystal healing as well. I've never heard of crystal like I heard of crystal healing before, but it's never really
Yeah.
kind of talked about, I suppose. And could you talk a little bit about
Well,
crystal
it's
healing?
just about, it was a crystal course I done to learn all about the different healing abilities of the different crystals, and
Yeah.
the vibrations they hold and what different crystals can
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
And then it was a crystal healing where, like that, if someone, now I would use crystals in, say, Reiki healing on the different, because different crystals are associated with the different energy centers, the chakras in the physical body. So you would use them on the client doing Reiki healing as well, which is great because they really absorb anything, any negative energy or anything like that, and connect with that part of the body. So
Yeah.
it's just knowing where to place crystals for different things on a person, and just
Mhm.
letting them do their work basically, and that person having the intention of what they actually want, to release from themselves, and working with the crystal. So that was, as I said, that was the first thing
Mhm.
that was the first course I done that brought me into more of
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah, yeah. So I love that, because I love using crystals as well, like,
Yeah.
especially for protection, like we do like the obsidian and the tourmaline, and like they're so
Yeah.
grounding as well, especially if you're like in this line of work where you work with energy and with the higher chakras and the higher
Mm,
dimensions, that you really need to be grounded yourself. So I find
absolutely.
even,
Yeah.
yeah, having like
Yeah.
the crystals around the house, and like even on you, or when you go out, say if when you're going for an outing where there's lots of people, and in order to make sure that you're protected
Protect your
and
energy.
you're not wrecked basically leaving the place. That usually used
Yeah.
to happen to me a lot, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? I can't even be around people anymore because I'm so sensitive
Yeah.
to energies now. And I realized I wasn't protecting my energy, and I'm like, right, this is like, I do this every
Yeah.
day now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They're really
And
helpful, and they do work. I don't feel I'm dressed if I don't go out without a crystal bracelet or something, on me. Even in the house, I've crystals everywhere. In the proper parts of the house where they'll work, but they really do, and they're if you're doing meditation, they're good to use as well to help you connect as well to your higher self and things like that, and as well as ground you, because most people, it's as important to ground as it is to go into, those higher energies. When you really need to be grounded and connected with your 3D. I mean, people forget that we reincarnated to choose to be in our 3D life, in our physical body, so so it's really important to have yourself grounded.
Definitely, 100%. You're talking about crystals now, and I know you said you have them around the house, and I do as well. And I'm like, let's talk about, like, I did talk about the wealth corner before, because I know there's a wealth corner. Let's dress it up. Let's bring abundance into the house. That's obviously like from Feng Shui. And like, so what tips would you give for
around
people
your house?
to
I would, well, in your wealth area, which is your southeast area, you would put in the likes of jade, which I'm wearing here, jade, any green, to attract in the colour of money, so jade, aventurine, citrine is the crystal for abundance, so that will attract in your abundance of prosperity in that. And pyrite, because it's golden colour, is a great crystal as well for that area. And then in the bedroom, amethyst is a lovely crystal to help you relax and, come down and, for if you put it on your bedside locker. You don't want too many crystals either. And I've seen people with loads of crystals on their bedside locker, loads of different crystals. And the locker is nearly jumping around the room with the energy. But I'd say to them, like, have one or two crystals, have your, maybe very soft energy crystal like rose quartz or your amethyst, very calm crystals, because what happens is people forget those crystals are emitting lots of energy. So when you're asleep, and particularly like your head is going to be next to your bedside locker, it's creating all that chaos of energy where you're, you might be getting a good restful sleep. So have, your amethyst or your rose quartz, that's it on your bedside locker. If you are, say, wanting to bring in a bit of passion or love to the bedroom, or the room for passion or love, put a grid of rose quartz. You can, one little tiny piece of rose quartz in each corner under your bed, and that'll bring the vibration of love to your bed. And as well as, with a baby, even a baby's cot, wrap even amethyst. You don't want to put a crystal in the cot because, they could pick it up and they could be chewing on it or whatever. Put a bracelet, tie a bracelet around the leg of the cot, say amethyst, just to, give that baby a nice bit of peace and tranquility, and helps, to induce sleep. And then for protection in the house, it's very important for protection. So at your front door, or even any entrance to your house where people, to avoid break-ins or anything like that, or any negative energy coming into your home, put the likes of obsidian or tourmaline or dark color crystals like that, that will give that protection. And anyone coming into your home, they will absorb any negative energy that's been brought through that door. And you can even put your house in the grid. You can put, like, the likes of tourmaline in the four corners of your home for protection, to have that grid around your home, because they all bounce. Crystals energy bounces off each other. So the four corners of your home, just as a protection of a grid around your home, it's really good, and the likes of clear quartz, which is known as the master healer. I mean, you can use that in any room, that really absorbs any negative energy, or picks up, and transmutes itself. It's known as the master healer. Like it's even, and selenite, if you put any other crystals beside them, they will absorb any negative energies from those other crystals that the other crystals have picked up with working on people as well, so clear quartz as well, great, lovely crystal.
Clear quartz. And would you cleanse them like in the moonlight or the sunlight?
I do both. I would put them out of full moon energy, new moon energy. I would leave them out on my garden table, the sun energy is lovely energy as well, full of vitality in that for your crystals. I would sage them, crystals that you can't, I'd wash some of the crystals from time to time, but some crystals, you can't wash. It's normally the crystals that end in ITE, so it's the likes of calcite or a amazonite or something, any crystals like that. And
Selenite,
they say don't wash because they're porous, so they absorb.
Oh, yeah.
So smudge them. I'd never put crystals out in the likes of eclipse.
Yeah.
If you have like solar eclipse, that energy is really, really chaotic, and your crystals absorbs everything. So you don't want them absorbing any chaotic energy like that. So refrain from putting them out in the likes of solar eclipses or things like that. But the normal full moon, sunlight, anything like that, wash the ones that you can wash in sea salt water. Really
Yeah.
good to cleanse them as well. And you can actually feel it. I mean, you'll know by your crystals if you're used to working with them, even just for your own purpose. They'll feel heavy to you in your hand if, they've absorbed a lot of energy. If there's a lot going on in the house and they're absorbing that toxic energy. And once you sage them or wash them or reactivate them with that moon energy, they'll actually feel lighter to you,
100%.
You
Yeah.
notice the difference when they're cleansed and cleared.
Yeah, like I remember, like, even I had some crystals, there's like one or two, like once they crack, you're like, right, the job is done. If it's cracked,
Their
I'm like,
job is
okay,
done. They've done their job. Yeah.
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 So yeah, I always kind of put them out into the back garden, and I'm like, here you go for the earth.
For
You can
the
have
earth. Or if you get little chips, crystals chips come off them. I would throw them into plants because they're great with working with plants as well. And you'll see your plants then flourish all of a
Yeah.
sudden, and they're in the
Like,
earth as well. So it's a good, just throw them into the soil of the plant.
I love that. I know you were saying that you did train in a manifestation workshops. Can you talk
Yeah.
about manifesting as well? Because I find it like, the
Manifesting.
crystals and the manifestation.
Everyone now is talking about manifesting. I done, and again, Feng Shui, there's aspects of manifesting with that because you're doing things to attract in good energy and attract in better things into the different parts of your home. But I done an 8-month manifestation course with Shamina Taylor, which was really, really good. And manifestation is not just saying, I wish for this, or I wish for that, or I'd love to have this, or I'd love to have that. It's really training yourself to work with not just the law of attraction to what you want to attract to you, but the law of vibration to get on the right alignment with vibration to bring in what you do want, or what's meant for you. So working on that course, it was going through all the ways of taking away all those limiting beliefs that we put up, that we block ourselves from getting things with, and how to work with that and do your shadow work and all of that, to actually building up the confidence to believe that you can manifest things and that you are worthy of things and things can happen, and how to get into all that kind of belief, system, and what little tricks and ways and how to manifest things. So it was really interesting. Yeah.
Cool. And would you have any tips or like kind of little secrets for
Any
us?
tips? Yeah.
Any
Well, with manifesting, I'd say, when you're explaining manifestation to anyone, or people are saying, I can never manifest, I'd say start small. The universe doesn't know the difference between €1 and €1,000,000. It only picks up the vibration of you knowing you're going to have it, you deserve it, it's meant to be in your life, and you're ready for it. And that's all the universe picks up when you're putting it out there. It doesn't know the difference of, whether something is worth 10,000 to whether something is worth 50,000. But we know the difference. So it's easier for us to believe that, we can have €10 extra in their purse than €1,000 extra, in a week. And we know the difference. So we're the ones that put up those energetic blocks that never have that, it'll never come to me. So I would say start off small, do something that you believe you can manifest. Story with Shamina, when we started off, she said, do your morning rituals, your affirmations, your meditation, your abundance meditation and all that. So I done that, and she said, just start off small, ask for something that you believe is very capable of happening. So I remember starting off saying, I'm going to manifest a free cup of coffee, when it could be a lunch or something, anything like that. And one morning I said, I'm going to thanking the universe this morning for that lovely free cup of coffee that I'm going to have. Went off, forgot about it, because that's another good tip with manifestation. You put it out there, you forget about it. You don't sit for the day thinking and wondering, how is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Who's going to bring it to me? All of that. Went off about my business, didn't think about it. And I was driving around, I was after doing shopping or something, food shop. And I know it was during lockdown, because it was a time when they were serving coffees outside and you couldn't go in, but you could have them in your car. So as a little social outing at the time, I said, I'm just going to get and treat myself to, go in here and have a drink. And I pulled into the Castleknock Hotel and ordered the coffee, was sitting in my car waiting for it. The waiter comes, the little chap comes out, the waiter, with the coffee, and they just start bucketing down raining. And as I pulled down my window to give him the change fell the side of the car seat. And he just said, he didn't want to be standing there in the rain. He just said, here, just take the coffee, Grant. And it wasn't until later on that day I said, I got my good free coffee and manifested it. And that really brings you into the belief that that actually works. I asked for that this morning and that happened. Now, it could have been anything. I could have asked for a 4-course meal or whatever, but I started off small, as she had advised. And as you do that, as you start off kind of manifesting things and wanting to bring in things and knowing that that's capable of happening, you build up the confidence in knowing that that can happen. So that kind of takes away our blocks of how's it going to happen? How's it going to work? And I always say to people, when you're manifesting, think of it as ordering something online. When you go online to, say, order an outfit of clothes, say, you just print your order, you put in the colour you want, the size you want, you're looking at it visually, so you're envisaging, the outfit on yourself, so you can see yourself, wearing it, and you're saying, yeah, I'd love that. That would suit me. And, I'm going to enjoy wearing that to a wedding or whatever you're ordering it for. And you specify all you want and you order it and you just leave it be and you don't think about it. You don't think about how's it going to be delivered, who's going to bring it, and what parcel is it going to be in. You just expect it to land on your door. And that's the way you should feel about manifesting. You should put out your order, exactly down to what you want, the colour, any size, whatever it is you're ordering, and see yourself, if it's a new car that you want, see yourself driving that car, get into the emotion of how you're feeling. Yeah, that's for you. You look great in it. Your friends are going to be congratulating you, and see all that happening and put it out there, and do not think about, how you're going to afford it, how you're going to get the loan for it, the credit union going to turn you down, anything like that. Just put it out there and believe that it's going to come. And it will come in the most unexpected ways. Honestly, the universe really contrives to give you what you want once you believe that you are worthy of it and you can have it. And things really come in the most unexpected ways, and that's it's people that blocks it,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's like, have an expectancy, like expect like miracles to happen, have faith to know that it will come to fruition. Because order whatever, like visualize whatever you want and just leave it up to the universe then to like kind of bring it to you. So and just,
I always say too, another thing is, if you're manifesting something, always say, and bring it in for my highest good. Because if there's something better meant for you that the universe has in mind to give you, and that it's meant for your life, you mightn't get exactly what you're manifesting, but you might get something better. So always ask for, because you could be blocking that something better for yourself by just asking for it without saying for my highest good and for the better result. And I always say too, when you are manifesting for money, always say, bring it in the most safest and loving way to me as well. Because I do know somebody that was manifesting money, and God love her, she was in a car accident and she got a load of money through a claim. Now, she could have done without having the car accident and gone through, I think she'd whiplash or something like that. So you don't want to bring in money either in that way.
Yeah,
So
it's like
make sure when you're asking, if it's money that you're asking for, or a lump sum of money for something like that, that you are asking for it in the safest and most loving way to come into your life,
That's classic. Yeah, manifesting coming like with a caution sign. Like just be cautious when you're manifesting.
You don't want to be going around in agony for your money.
That's money, bullshit of a sore neck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I loving all these tips. It's just having the faith that everything is going to work out for you, and it's just like, it's just because we create these limiting like
My
belief
God,
blocks
yeah,
from
we really
like
do.
from I suppose our environment and people we hang out with. So I always like, even for myself, I kind of look at people who are already where, let's say, I like aspire to be, like people who
Mm.
inspire me, like, or something that inspires me. I'm like, okay, let's just surround myself in that, like listen to
Yeah,
success stories and just be like, okay, if they can do it, I
yeah.
can do it also.
You just look, you never know, people don't realize what they're capable of or their capabilities. They box
Yeah.
themselves off and, I can only do this job because I'll never acquire those skills, that things that I want to be doing or whatever. But as I said, it's like 20 odd years ago, I'd have never thought that I could be a Reiki master.
Yeah.
Um, I'd never even envisaged that I would be able to do that, or, that would have been something really, if someone had said to me, you should go and train in Reiki and you'd be good at that and you'd like it, I would have been like, I could do that. But that's my own limiting beliefs, at that stage, and especially at the time that, I'd come out of a toxic relationship, as I said, and I was made to feel like I was worthless, that I wasn't, fit for anything. Nobody would be bothered with me, and, all these things that somebody else tells you. So when you're hearing that constantly, you start actually believing it as well. So you tell yourself, yeah, I'm no good for anything. I'm no good at this. I'm no good at that. And you lose your confidence in yourself, or you put restrictions on your own capabilities of your own life. So you need to work on yourself and lose all of that disbelief in yourself, so you can have all the things that you are worthy of.
And I think, like, yeah, when you make the first step to decide, actually, I'm not doing this anymore, when you make that step to leave, and it's like the universe sees you and then it
Yeah,
meets you and kind of gifts you like this new way of these new opportunities to be like, okay, so
yeah,
Beverly made this first call, this she made this move, and I'm gonna support. It's like the
absolutely.
universe sees you.
When
Yeah.
yeah, when you remove anything that's not working in your life, or that's not meant for you, and you actually take that leap and get over, if it's a bad relationship or you leave a job that you absolutely detest and you make that move, the universe will reward you in so many ways. It'll bring in a great job offer that you could have never seen yourself in, and the opportunities that will come, the better person for you, and it'll show you, like, this is what you're meant to have, and
Yeah.
you've taken that leap of faith to have it. So it's important to, anything that you're struggling with in life, whether it's a job you don't like, a toxic relationship, even an environment where you're living that you're just not happy, take that leap and get out of it. And know that there is better out there. You do not have to endure any of those things. Life is for living and loving and enjoying. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to put up with anything or tolerate anything just to get you day to day. You should actually be loving your life and loving who you are, and
Yeah.
feeling the love for yourself as well as other people in your life as well.
Yeah. I think there comes a point in your life where you're like, well, that's it. Like, I'm not going to take anymore. And you're like, I'm just going to
Yeah,
break the chain. And
yeah,
like, this is like what happened to me after 7 years as well, of like just being in just this toxic relationship. And I was
yeah,
actually working in the same environment as the person. So when I decided, right, no more, so I left the relationship, left the job, I thought in that moment that my life was just like, oh, not over, but it was dramatic. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, I had to go back to my mother's place, and it was just like everything was crumbling. But it
Mm,
was like the best thing that happened to me, because I had a better job opportunity 3 months later, because I asked for a better pay rise, a better environment, less hours. So then eventually I found my partner. Like, it was
yeah,
like, I said, no more to toxicity. I'm going to work on me, and this
yeah,
is what I want from now on.
yeah.
And it's like when I affirmed that, I kind of commanded it to myself and the universe, saying, no more of this. I was like blessed basically in ways that I didn't even think at the start that were possible.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you really do.
Yeah.
You have to get out of those situations. And as I said, when things, you may feel things are crumbling, but things actually crumble at a time when good things are actually going to come in. Life it's a cycle of bad times, and going through the bad times then gives us a bit of perspective on when we do get the good things in our life, that this is really this is really good, and you appreciate when things are going good for you then as well. But you just have to make that jump out of different things in your life.
That brings me when we go through these kind of experiences, it's everything that we go through records. Basically, we record it in our body, like we record all our experiences, any kind of heavy emotions like jealousy or fear or grief, or that's all in the body if it's not expressed. And I know you said you've just qualified as a reflexologist. You had to go through, I think you said it was like 100, even more than 100 cases, and
100 case studies.
Case studies, and it's like I would love to quiz you on that, because I know there's so much in reflexology that like we don't know. Like I know you know.
I just do. I mean, I've trained in Reiki and practice Reiki and all of that, and Rahanni, and done magnified healing. So I was very tuned with energy healing. But I mean, as well as us being energy beings, we're also in this physical body. It's nice to be able to, I think, offer something if you're doing energy modalities, energy healings, that you have some understanding of the physical body as well, because our energy and emotions that we hold through different things certainly does manifest and affect our physical organs and parts of our body. So I was interested. A few people I knew were doing reflexology, and I was very interested. So I decided, just turned 51, so I'm still learning. I decided, I'm going to train in this, and it's really interesting. I found it really interesting, and the more I got into it, and it was a lot of studying it, because you have to do your anatomy and physiology and all of that, and learn all the different parts of the body, and then the technique itself, and get used to working. Reflexology is about working on the feet. You can work on the hands as well, or you work on the ear as well. But it's basically done on the feet, and it dates back to 2500. It was found actually in caves in Egypt, and then it was brought into China, into the Chinese medicine, and then into the Western kind of over here. So it was only back in 1930, a lady who was, she worked in that field. She mapped out all the different organs and parts of the body onto the soles of the feet. So soles of the feet would represent different parts of the body, and what a reflexologist does is stimulate and work on the different zones of the body to stimulate those organs or muscles or part of the body that they represent. So say that's the soles of your feet there that you're looking at, that you're working on. So just put them. So they represent the physical body is mapped out on them that you're working on. So you'd work from the top down. So this would be all your head area. So, your big toe would represent your head, your brain, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, and the toes, your sinuses and your ears and your nose and your eyes, and then down to the chest area, and then your middle part, so your stomach, you're working on your intestine, your kidneys, all of the middle parts of your organs, and then the lower part, which would be, the lower part would be your productive system, any of your uterus or anything like that, and the organs down here. And then outer part, they're your soles of your feet. So your outer part are your shoulders, down your arms, down into your legs. So you're working, stimulating all those different parts. So, and as you're even working on somebody, you can actually feel if they have issues, or they've had, previous operations or anything like that, or say, their tonsils removed, you can actually feel, you get to know the feeling of the indentation where things would be removed from their body, the difference between one foot to another, say. So it's really interesting, and there's really great benefits with it, even as a complementary therapy where people may be going through cancer, treatment through cancer, they go for reflexology as well. And because it's good for, people, for pain management, and great for blood circulation and just bringing the body back into balance as a whole. So yeah, it's a really lovely therapy. So I'm really delighted that, as I said, I've just qualified and got my diploma in that. So I'm really delighted with that to have done it.
That's such an achievement. I mean, 100 case studies and the amount of work that goes into understanding the body, like what exactly you're doing on the hands, on the feet, on the ears, and so much work. And I am always, like I was saying to you earlier, that I'm mad to get reflexology, because every time I book in for a treatment, it's always a deep tissue, because I just love when somebody works with my body. But like you were saying, if somebody just works on your feet, your whole body, every single organ is actually getting massaged internally. You're getting an internal massage.
You're working on, well, I mean, as a holistic therapist, you're never treating anything in isolation. You're always working on somebody as the whole. So it's, as I said, it's good, even if you're doing energy work, to have that knowledge of the physical body as well, because even the mind, because I mean, it's really mind, body and soul, that you are working on, because as I said, as a holistic therapist, you're treating somebody as that whole. So just to have that bit of knowledge and know that, I mean, everything is connected. If you have anything off energetically in your body, as I said, it's going to manifest physically around, one of your organs, and you're going to have issues then physically as well. So it's just having that knowledge and being able to offer the likes of reflexology, where it's more aimed at, working with the physical organs, as well as getting to the root where somebody energetically is holding on to something, within their body.
So who would come to you for reflexology? Say, what kind of issues would a person have if they were to book, say, for a reflexology session with you?
It could be anything. As I said, it can be that they're going through the likes of cancer, and they're using it as a complementary therapy. And there's reflexology specifically for cancer patients, as well as infertility, women trying to get pregnant, that, you work around all the reproductive area on them, that they may have a blockage there or some issue there. So it could be infertility, it could be, people that have a lot of stress or anxiety, depression, because as I said, it really brings the body back into balance, and it's a very, very calm and therapy as well to actually have. Like, you get off the bed and a lot of people like, just want to get into bed and sleep now. They're totally calm and they're totally relaxed, So for anxiety, depression, anything like that, or any pains that they have, chronic pains or even back pains, because you're working on the spine as well, that the inside down here is you're working on the different vertebrae of the spine. So anything like that, they can come to you. It can be mental, physical, if they're suffering with grief, any emotions as well that you need to release, because like with energy therapies, even during a session, somebody can have an emotional release. Or a few days after as well. So it just brings up everything to release, as well as kind of treating it pain-wise, or that physically pain-wise as well. So you'd get it different reasons people would come, or they might just come because they just want that time to bring themselves back into balance and just relax. And it's like going for a massage, just to kind of really chill out and get rid of any overwhelmness that you've been going through or whatever.
I love that, because when we talk about reflexology, there's so many different benefits in that. But I say years ago, and I would say, when did I have my son now? 2018, right? I had my son, and after having him 3 months, for the first 3 months, I couldn't walk straight. I had to go to I had a really sore back, my lower back, and it was just, I don't know what it was, but I went to a chiropractor just for one session, and eventually she just gave me exercises to do, and after 3 months the pain kind of went away and I was able to walk properly. But I mean, if I knew that back in that time, that reflexology could have helped me as well in that, because I feel like it definitely can. And for people, like, if I just
had that knowledge, you know, I would have been straight into you,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know. That's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
No,
love that.
definitely would help. All right.
Yeah.
And you can actually, you know, if you're working on the likes of somebody's, where there's this bone, where there's, as I said, this that spine, the vertebrae, you can actually maybe feel clicks as you're walking along as well, and that person will like jump
No way.
because, you know, that's the issue there. But I mean, it's helping them. It's helping where that the issue they're having, or if they're holding a lot of tension, say in their shoulders, and you're walking around here, the shoulder area, you can actually feel where it's gritty or they need a good massage. And massaging there on their little toe, the shoulder area, they're actually getting the benefit physically on their shoulders.
I love that. Yeah. Also, because while we were talking about reflexology, I want to ask you about access bars, because I want to quiz you on so much. And I was like, I know we've been talking for a while, but it's just everything kind of weaves into one. Like there's so much that we could talk about.
Yeah.
And it's like you have this extensive menu of modalities for somebody to come in. What would you like? Or what would you like today?
Access bars. Well, access bars is a therapy on the head, so going from the head to the feet, and it was founded by Gary Douglas and developed, who was just after completing a psychology degree, and he was very, you know, he started looking into and researching as well, limiting beliefs he had, you know, within himself, and he was going through a bit of a rough time in his own life, and you know that was a bit of a catalyst moment for him. So he started looking at the different points of the brain, and it's an energy treatment as well, where you could remove those limiting beliefs and blocks that you are mentally creating yourself or thinking about. Because, you know, it all really starts up here. Anything that we block ourselves or tell ourselves, you know, bring us into our emotions in our body. So it starts up here. And what access bars is, it works on 32 different points of the brain. And at those 32 different points, they each correlate to different aspects of your life. So it can be, you know, your self-confidence, your money beliefs, anything like that you have blocks with. And as I said, it's an energy treatment. So you're working with, it's different to the likes of Reiki, because with Reiki, you are connecting into higher source energy. And obviously, and you can call in your own spirit team and guides as well to assist in the healing. But with access bars, you are connecting your own energy and pulling the energy from the client that you're working on and connecting with their energy. And you're working then lightly pressing on the different points of the head, and it creates an electromagnetic fusion where it's called access bars because, say, you're working on this point and that point, there's an energetic bar. It's not actually a bar. Most people come to me and go, "Do you have to put bars in my head or something?" Like, no, there's an energetic bar. So what you're doing is that bar is creating those blocks. That energy, that electromagnetic block is then dissipated once you're working on it and sending energy in. And it's like a shift of that block, where at the different points it could be a block that you are stopping, you know, having good relationships in your life or anything like that. And you can then reprogram your thoughts and beliefs in that certain point of your brain where you think differently. So again, it's a really beneficial therapy. I see great results from it. People come to me like that, and not a lot of people know about it because it's a relatively new therapy. As I said, it was Gary Douglas only kind of started developing it in the early 1990s. So it's relatively new over here even. But people will try it. But once you actually try it, first of all, it's very relaxing because, again, it removes all your worries and your stresses and anything that you're holding up here, all that chatter that's going on in your brain. And so because different parts of your brain as well is associated with the different organs of your body, your whole body just relaxes, and people get off the bed actually floating as well. They just feel so relaxed, like nothing bothers them. And it's an instant shift. It's, you know, with other energy therapies like Reiki, it could be a few days that you notice emotions coming up and you're feeling emotional, or you're getting different symptoms to release things. But in the brain, it's instant, it's gone. And they'll only notice that it's different, maybe it could be a few days later, or a week later, or a month later, that things that have normally bothered them in their life, they just don't bother them anymore because it's gone. Do you know? And it's funny, like people will come and they might say to me, and I don't, I'm not happy in my work, and I just feel there's nothing that I can do is right, and there's a block there, that things that I want to go for, there's a block there, and that's, again, it's their own limiting beliefs. And after Access Bar, you'll see them. Some people will join the dots and come back to you and say, Jesus, I really see the difference, And some people won't. They won't join the dots that it could have been from that Access Bars therapy. But you'll see them after a while, be talking to them, and they've gone for that job interview, or they've got out and they've started doing that, hobby that they want to do, or they've lost weight, or, they're more in a healthy, living more of a healthy lifestyle, or they've broke away from that relationship and or they've, brought a better person into their life. So you just see the difference with people after having it. It's recommended to have 3 to 5 close treatments together, because there's so many layers of limiting thoughts that we have in our head that we need to shift. And it could be things that goes back to our childhood, and even past lives that we've brought in, that we believe about ourselves, But things like back to our childhood, where we might have an energy block, having a lot of money in our lives, say, because maybe we heard somebody saying money only brings evil, or it's the root of all evilness, or if you ask for something, that you're greedy. You shouldn't ask for things, and that sticks in your head, and you believe that even subconsciously. Even if you're saying, yeah, I really wish I had better, my finances were better, and I didn't have to stress as much about bills and stuff. Subconsciously, you're thinking, I can't really ask for more money in a job or anything like that, because that's greedy, because I heard it years ago as a child. So that limiting belief sticks in your head, and that's what you want to get rid of. And that's what Access Bars is about. It's getting rid of all those disbeliefs and allowing you to reprogram your thoughts in a more positive way about yourself, just to bring in better things to your life as well.
Access Bars sounds like everything needs to try it,
Do
because
it. Everyone should have their bars run, as they say. That's what they call it. Have your bars run.
Or have your bars run. Yeah, I love the way it's so connected to your subconscious beliefs, and how you can shift them like that in an instant. And the fact that in the session, then it's like talk therapy combined with energetics. So you're talking to somebody, you're like, okay, so what's the issue here? What do you want to work on? And then you do it then energetically. Why isn't everybody talking about this?
They should. I say to somebody, everyone should try an Access Bars therapy even once, just to see how they feel during it. And it's like with anything, people that don't know a lot about Rahanni or Reiki or any of those therapies, and they're a bit skeptical, but then when they go and actually have the session, they get off the bed and they're like, yeah, I felt this, and oh my God, I can't believe what I got out of it. And everyone should have an Access Bars treatment, just to see how much better they even think, after it. As I said, it's particularly good as well for anyone with ADHD or ADD, because it really, gives a lot of peace and clarity to your thoughts. So anyone with ADHD, it's really good for. Or anybody studying with exams coming up, even, it really calms the brain and allows you absorb more and learn more, because you've all that chatter going on and stress and all the rest of it. So it's really good for anyone studying, or, as I said, with exams coming up as well, to kind of just take all of that out of the brain, so that you can better focus and more clarity on your thoughts.
Oh, I
really
100% need to do it, because I think I have ADHD because I thought, with the amount of thoughts and everything that run through my head.
No, the thousands of thoughts we have a day, they never We put worry and stress our ways over things that don't happen and can't happen, and all those doubts and everything else. And we put things in our own heads that don't need to be there at all, you know. And then they go on to creating emotions, as I said, that we're holding on to in our body, that then go on to manifest to physical illnesses and symptoms that we shouldn't even have. So yeah, so it all starts up here, you see.
Yeah, it's all like the power like of the present moment is like when you like still
Yeah,
yourself. It's just
absolutely. Yeah.
oh,
I mean, you hear a lot of times, we only ever have this moment. You know, it's no point in stressing about what happened in the past or worrying about what's going to happen in the future, because you really only have this moment and can control anything that's happening in this moment.
can you do it on yourself now? Like, can you run the
You
bars?
can, but I don't do it on myself. It's really, again, it differs to Reiki like that, where you can actually work on yourself with your own hands with Reiki, because it's actually it's a therapy that's actually, it's better just to have somebody else do it for you, because as I said, they're connecting their energy and pulling yours, you know, to connect with your energy as well, and creating that electro in the brain. So yeah, it's a therapy that you would go to somebody for. It's
Yeah.
different to the other healing modalities.
Yeah, and I
That
totally get that then, yeah, because we can sometimes stand in our own ways, whereas like you can go out to somebody and they can ask you like certain questions, you know, that may make you
yeah.
think and be like, oh, actually, this is the root cause.
And it's also, it's a therapy that allows you to lie in the bed and totally switch off. And that's what a
Yeah,
lot of people will fall asleep during it. Because as I said, it totally relaxes the whole body. And they're free of stresses and anything else that's been clamoring away inside their head. They're free of everything and they're totally relaxed. So a lot of them will just doze off, hunk out, or just be in that state of, as it's like you're getting a massage, that they're just in that state of total relax. It's not something that you would be working on yourself, because you can't
yeah.
get into that total state of relaxed
Oh
then,
yeah,
because you're thinking where we're about to go next, you know,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
head. So
Okay.
yeah, and while you are working on the different points of the brain, you are doing, I would be mentally just clearing statements that I am mentally thinking in my head as well while I'm doing it. So what I'm thinking, that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Bars, he worked with these clearing statements to work with the treatment. You're thinking, I'm mentally thinking those in my head, so they are connecting with that person's energy as well to clear out any of those blocks that they have, shift them. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's go to somebody and get it done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I say.
And like, yeah, and just what a gift to like be able to do it even for your own kids, you know, like when they're going
Oh
for
yeah,
exams,
yeah, because
like,
it's really, yeah, just if you're to learn it, just to, as I said, to do it on friends and your family, kids especially, because kids that are being bullied or anything, or they're holding thoughts in their head, to clear out those beliefs about themselves. Yeah, it's really good. Well, we're all connected, and if you've read The Body Keeps the Score,
mhm,
it covers everything: our
yeah,
brain, our physical body, our energy bodies. It's everything. It's everything connected, you know. So it's really important to know a bit about everything that's happening inside us. We really are like we're miraculous when you think about it, and about the way our body can actually heal itself as well. Do you know? It
yeah.
really is. We're magical beings.
Thank you so much, Beverly, for
You're
all
very
your
welcome.
time
Love the
and just
chats.
I love the chats. Yeah, I'd love to have you on again
Yeah,
at some point. I would like talk about Feng Shui
yeah,
and everything because
yeah,
there's so like we can really go into so much detail into everything if we just touched base basically like we could have covered even
yeah,
though there's so much information but it was just so
yeah,
insightful. I feel like for just from this chat I want to do access bars just so that I can do that on my own family now because
yeah.
I know it would
Absolutely.
benefit everybody here so
Oh,
much
so much.
just
Yeah, so
because of
much.
that.
And as I said, people enjoy getting it as well. You know, it's surprising to them how they feel after it, because like that, it's, as I said, a lot of people will think, God, how can just doing because you're only lightly tipping off, you know, the points of the brain. How can that do anything? But as I said, you have to experience it to see, you know, to believe it. And I will be doing, normally over the summer, I don't do online courses because a lot of people are on holidays and people want to enjoy their summer. So I normally do online courses for astrology and Feng Shui, say from September onwards, when people are more or less hibernating at home and loving their evenings at home. So I like doing the online courses then for that. So I'll be doing, as I said, online courses for Feng Shui and astrology as well. It's just basic astrology for learning people how to do their birth charts and what the different, you know, planetary movements mean, and bring in those energies as well into the different aspects of their lives. And and I do a grief healing online circle as well for people going through grief, and that's really good as well. People love that. And that's on I'm doing that running that once a month. So that's what I'm doing, as well as everything else.
Yeah, and like where can people find you online?
I'm just having a website done at the moment, would you believe? But people normally book in with me. They'll either book in through Instagram on Serene Wellbeing, or my phone number is on my page to WhatsApp me or call me or whatever to book an appointment. I practice from Maynooth, doing the one-to-one healings, therapies. And then if they want, if I advertise when I'm doing the online courses, they can book in as well with those. So that's how I'm there. Serene Wellbeing.
Brilliant. I'll leave all the notes in the show notes so people can find you. And your website as well. Like, I can't wait to see your website.
Can I? So even doing the website is so bloody much in that, like, because I wouldn't be the most techie IT person, and I gave it to a guy I know, and I said, just do that, and he's coming back to me saying, and what'll I put here and what'll I put there? I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, it takes ages. It's like, it's such a big investment of like time and energy. It takes forever, but it will be beautiful when it's done. But I think when you're doing it behind closed doors, you're like tearing your hair out. You're like, it takes ages.
But it's good to have.
Thanks so much, Beverly.
You're very welcome.
Thank you again. We'll chat soon.
Thanks so much, Christine. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Lovely to chat.
Thank you for allowing me to be your guide on this cosmic and entrepreneurial journey. I hope this episode inspired you in some way and would love to hear your thoughts. So send me a message on my Instagram at christinemar.co, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. Until next time.